Welcome to Bourbon Taste-Offs, playoff brackets of the best whiskeys. Join us in our season-long quest to find our tastiest bourbon.
And here are the playoff brackets of the best whiskeys. They include the first quarter. The first 3 months are done in the books. Here is the list of what is advanced. We are currently recording the second quarter. Please listen into the episodes and follow along and join us in this journey. Hello, welcome to Bourbon Taste-Offs. This is episode number 20, and we are your hosts, Todd, Josh, and Adam. And in today's episode, it was my choice to bring the options, and it's all toasted. So in the past, we've had toasted. It was the Basil Hayden toast. That is actually one of these options. Other than that, they're toasted that I've never had before. So.
Okay. Do you have the Buzzard's Roost? That's one of my favorite toasted that I got that down in Kentucky.
Oh, is there Michter products? Because all their bottles are toasted.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this one was an allocated one. I actually went to Whiskey Row down in Louisville and went to Michter's, and if you bought one of their sour mashes, you could also have an option to buy one of their toasted options.
Nice.
Because they didn't want to just give those options as just one bottle option. They wanted people to buy the sour mash as well.
Gotcha.
So, but it's a very rare thing. You cannot find it on shelves. You have to actually go there on a special day to be able to get it. So that's
cool.
Potentially one of these options.
Nice.
Penelope toasted. I've never had that.
Did we do
That's an MGP, right? The Penelope?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yep.
Did we do the Penelope mushroom or not mushroom?
On mushrooms?
No, there was a. Actually, I know what it is. Marshmallow, Penelope marshmallow.
Oh, that's an option?
I had that. Yeah, it tastes like a marshmallow.
Yeah, it became one of those people would post it on Facebook and be like, "Oh, we're searching for this." You know?
Oh, okay.
It's like a marshmallow.
Yeah, I'm gonna temper those expectations.
Yeah.
There's no need to go pick that out.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
Gotcha.
It tastes like a marshmallow.
Okay, and I think you said you're not a marshmallow fan,
I like marshmallows with chocolate and graham cracker or fire,
So
but
some
not my
more.
bourbon.
right? Okay. Well, that's what the options are. Let's find out what's going to go against what. We'll have Adam pick, and I'm sure it's going to be 2 because the track record. It's not. It's 4.
1 versus 4.
All right. I love being proven wrong. I live for it, honestly. So 2 and 3 are going to go against each other. 1 and 4.
So I'm a huge fan of toasted.
I am too, from what I've tasted.
But blind tasting is a little bit different, as we found at Dan's party. We actually had the 1910, which was 1.
Yeah.
And it actually, 1910 failed out or dropped out. We decided against that. So,
However, that was going against apples and oranges, where it's you're going against Eagle Rare, you're going against E.H. Taylor,
Right.
And then you're throwing in this, toasted type of finish.
and I think you're right. A lot of it had to do with what it was paired with.
Right. Where these are all toasted, so it's going to be more of an apples to apples, I think, judgment. So
Crown apple?
yes.
Toasted crown apple?
So we'll start with 1.
Ooh.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Let's do this. Let's get this toast on. Kind of a flat nose, though.
I don't know if I'm there. I like the nose.
Yeah, it's grainy, but in a nice way.
Yeah. It's definitely the last episode didn't have a ton of nose.
No, this is definitely
It's true.
This is stronger than a lot of those.
And 2 of them are fresh cracks. So,
Okay.
so again, we talked about, is it
Plumbers, huh?
just under sink plumbers, though.
Yeah. Part-time. Weekend warriors.
Right. Kind of like what I wish I was at Dan's party. Just cutting that pipe and just let him pour all those extra
Oh my gosh.
pours down the drain.
I can't believe it.
You made an infinity bottle of that. Would have been
Yeah.
Oh
amazing.
my gosh.
Yeah, that was
quite the selection that just de minimis disappeared.
Yeah, it was sob worthy. You could easily sob and nobody would judge you for it.
I like this. I think when you think of a toasted bourbon, this is it.
Yeah, nice caramel, soft notes.
Are we gonna have a issue in this episode where things are so close together that it's gonna be a coin flip?
Ooh, that's a possibility.
Possibly, but we had an episode with all Bardstown Fusion series, which we thought it would be super close,
And they weren't.
and they should have been super close because basically they're advertising each other as the same product, but these are different companies having their toasted options. So I'm sure the mash bills are going to be different, yeast strains. Potentially, though, you're right. Potentially have a lot of similarities.
With one too, the finish was actually fairly short and quick.
I agree.
It would have been nice if it could have hung out a little bit longer.
I didn't mind it though.
No, it
I
was.
mean, we had some previous episodes, some stuff that lingered on like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
And no burning tongue sensation. Smooth.
Yeah. It's a good notes to start out on. Hopefully they continue, but yet give enough of a difference where we can get to give an honest review of it.
Let's say this is a little similar, but a little more ethanol flavor.
Yeah, a little more on the nose, a little more pungent almost.
I was almost thinking that marshmallow flavor smell that you
Okay.
were talking about a little bit.
I start talking about
Subliminal.
bubblegum. Will the next one have a bubblegum smell?
It might. I don't know.
Subliminal messaging, yeah.
I know.
That's good.
Well, this is gonna be a tough decision then.
It's got a little more spice to it.
I think a little more heat.
Yeah, but also has that toast. People talk about wheated as having like a smoothing character.
Yeah.
I think toast also has a smoothing character to it.
Yeah.
People are typically used to like a char 3 finish on bourbons where it's really you do get a lot of the caramels and brown sugars out of the wood, but toasting it just really gives it a creamy almost aspect to it. Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of a cinnamon on it. It's almost like a toasted cinnamon.
Yeah, but not like we're not pulling that grainy kind of flavor we've had
Yeah.
in the past, where you get like a cereal-y flavor. I'm not getting any kind of cereal from
Right.
it, but like
So there's no Dickel
no,
toasted.
no Dickel toast.
I just want to make sure before we.
Yeah, no, there's no Dickel toasted. Or toasted Dickel.
I want to meet someone that enjoys that flavor profile and just see what their perspective, because it did not do much for me. That
Yeah,
that
it was-
Dickel.
No,
Yeah,
Well, I picked it.
yeah, but you're.
right there. Talk to Todd.
Hey, nice to meet
Did
you.
you
Hi, I'm
pick
Todd.
Did you pick it because you liked it, or did you pick it?
Like I said, I went back to it, and it then reminded me of like a popcorn, like a buttered popcorn. So you're getting the corn obviously out of it,
Right.
And I think we were talking about it being like a rice kind of forward. Well, when I tasted it after trying, what was it, that Billy Goat strut?
Yeah,
It then reminded me of it, right? Yeah, we're laughing on camera because we were doing dances and everything about, it's,
So on 4, it's not a marshmallowy smell that I was smelling. It's actually, I think it's like, when you have like oak that's aged for firewood, and like that's kind of
like seasoned.
like a seasoned oak.
Seasoned, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting. And I was thinking like we were talking about s'mores and everything. And I
Right.
think that's kind of why I went from like fresh oak to fire to that kind of connected in my head. But I think that's what I'm smelling is like if you've ever had like a wood box with a bunch of oak in it, and you open it, like that's that kind of smell that I'm getting off of it.
Yeah, I can see that.
so I have picked a bottle.
Yeah, I have two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was offering these options, so I'll start it out. You're starting with one. It's like, oh yeah, I love toasted because you're getting the soft notes on it, and it's just pleasing. And then you go to 4, and it's also soft, but it has a little bit more spice and complexity to it. And then going back to 1, it's just confirmed for me that 1 just seems to fall a little flat, and I like a little bit more of that complexity from 4. So I picked 4.
I also picked 4 for, again, very similar reasons. It just seemed like there was a lot more interesting things happening in the glass, and from the nose palate to then actually tasting it and then doing a second taste later, I think it was just a little bit more interesting. So I like that one.
Yeah, I actually picked 1.
Okay.
I would agree 4 is a little bit stronger flavor profile. I wouldn't say it was too strong, but I liked the smell. I thought 4 had a little bit more of a little more abrupt flavor, so I thought 1 was a little bit smoother. But these are very close. I would be okay with 1 or 4. So
Okay.
I picked 1, but I definitely agree with 4 as well.
All right, way to go 4.
4.
All right, we'll move across the board and go to 2 and 3. And they're all toasted, so I mean, there's a lot of similarities between them.
You're definitely recognizing that toast smell on all of them.
Yeah, I agree.
This is probably the weakest smell of the 3 that we've tasted, in my opinion. Or maybe my nose is now acclimated to toasted.
Right.
It could be. I thought 1 was a little lighter on the nose than this one.
This is interesting. I like this. I feel like it's in between 1 and 4. It's kind of a blend of the two.
I'm getting it's a little more spicy for me than mash bill wise spicy than 1 or 4. But it's very, like you said, it's kind of in between everything else with how everything else is sitting. So
You would agree with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I think it's kind of sitting in between them in a way. I'd have to go back to 4 to actually really decide, but I don't want to. I just want to kind of
Don't do
focus
it.
on
Yeah,
Don't
don't do
it.
it.
Don't get away from the edge. Get away from the edge.
Back up.
But no, that's a great point. It's it's super interesting because there are nuances to these toasted tastings that they do all have a very similar profile because of the toasting. And so you're going back to kind of their mash bill, kind of going back to how long they're aged, and maybe even the alcohol content. I know, like I said, one of them was a Basil Hayden, which we know is 80 proof. That's not sticking out for me right now, though, and we only have 1 more to go.
Well, that might be 1. I mean, based on just proofing, because I'd say 4 and 2 are definitely higher proof than
Right.
Than
Have you smelled 3 yet?
I've not.
No.
So smell that one. Tell me what you think. I feel like you saying that we're kind of getting accustomed to that toasted smell. Like it feels like that very much with this one.
Very subtle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I like this.
Yeah, pleasantly sweet, though.
I like this.
It's really easy,
Yeah.
smooth.
Does it seem a little dark aftertaste? I can't describe what the aftertaste. Something hit me a little bit like.
Oh, it's almost like you're getting a little more barrel char off of it.
Yeah.
Or like it's a little smoky.
Yeah.
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 Wow. I think you're right. I think 1 has to be Basil Hayden, just based on all the other
Right.
It's
options.
not. It's the Michter's toasted.
I know, and that's the one I have never tried. I've also never tried the Penelope toasted. I can't remember what the last one was. Wow, these are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
And 2 is good. This is a tough one between 2 and 3.
I agree.
I do like a more oaky flavor on my whiskey, so that's kind of a thing for me, but I could definitely see the appeal of it too. Like the number 2, like that one's easy to drink. It's got a nice like build in the flavor and then drops off. Like it's thought about when they're doing them. So
I think 3 is, to me, seems to have a higher alcohol content as well. It's a little tingly on the tongue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I wish I knew the.
We will.
I know, right? I know. Again, it's me going. I wish I had more information,
right?
Just so that I'm trying to make educated guesses, but
and
we're not allowed that here.
No, because all that stuff will end up causing bias.
Correct.
For your choices.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be better if on a blind test of not knowing anything.
I agree.
So I've picked. Not to rush to Todd. I really like 2 and 3.
Yeah. I think
I wish they were against each other like at the finals, in a way.
I agree.
Yeah. I definitely think there's a lot more that they bring to the table than especially 1. Like there's a lot more involved.
It's funny, and I picked 1, so. But I think you'll be surprised what I picked for this one. Which is a little bit different than how I picked for the first 2, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I am ready. And I picked first last time, so I'm not going to do it this time.
Okay.
So.
I picked number 3. I just like the smoky kind of after flavor. It seems like there's a little bit more oak to that one. And the way the flavor profile kind of carries on your palate and like hangs out there for a little while. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 3 might be my favorite that I've tasted today. And I really liked it.
Yeah.
Great flavor, consistent, but a little aftertaste. I mean, it's a strong one.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, 2, it gives you that. I mean, you definitely know that they're all toasted. You're getting that subtle nuance of just creaminess to them all. And you're right. 2 and 3, they're both fantastic. But I follow with you guys and say that I like 3 just for that extra finish, the extra finishing on it.
Yeah.
So
Just seems really well put together.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit more like almost a little more premium, like in a way where like
could not agree more.
yeah, this is it's a light toast. So this is Davies County.
okay.
It's a light toast. So it gives options of having like
So they
a
have
medium
3
or
different runs of that option. Oh,
yeah. So they
That is freaking awesome.
that is so cool.
right.
So, and that makes a ton of sense because we know Basil Hayden is a super light
yeah.
And it's also was it
bourbon, and that's,
let's talk about
It's funny
this.
that a light toasted bourbon still has more flavor profile than
an 80,
Basil Hayden.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the 80 proof, man.
And this is
Right.
96 proof, so it's
Yeah.
16 proof more. But we said, 2 and 3, they were delicious.
Right.
I liked that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I would really love to try the medium and heavy.
I would too, if I had them.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah. That is such a fun option for like picking something like, ooh, I really like this one, and then little variants on that same.
Right.
Yeah, there's some sort of genius there that even from a marketing perspective,
Right.
and then I've never heard of this brand, but it was probably some guys that just or people that probably some genius female there too that's helping out, like
Yeah, it's from Lux Row.
just coming out with
Yeah.
stuff.
And I do have another one. It's called it's a double barrel, and I don't know what that means. Like we had a Lux Row double barrel, which happened to be
it was
a double single barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
That's
I'm
a-
a big
I
fan.
like that one.
I've never heard of this. I'm pretty impressed.
We didn't do Lux Row last time we were down there, and I'm definitely going to have to go check it out.
Yeah.
Limited edition. Gentle barrel toasting compared to traditional charring highlights a unique flavor palette and finished in highly toasted barrels produces pleasant notes of vanilla and coconut. I mean, I would agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I thought that this was in between 1 and 4.
Yeah, which was an accurate description because one was the Basil Hayden toast, which we all know now that all Basil Haydens are 80 proof, so it's a real low proof. And
Weak sauce.
weak
So
sauce,
weak.
which
It's watered down.
Josh picked weak sauce.
I did. I did. But I did.
But I mean, this Basil Hayden toasted is a really delicious option from Basil Hayden.
Oh, especially if you're an intro to whiskeys
Yes.
kind of guy, like Basil Hayden's a great doorway whiskey.
Absolutely. So welcome to bourbon, Josh.
You bring up a really good point. For someone that is new to bourbon and wants to get in, but struggles with being hit in the face with a 2x4, like Basil Hayden's a great option.
It is.
Yeah.
I do struggle a little bit with the price point. Like when this first came out, it was $40.
Right.
Now you're seeing this as much as $60.
Right. And coming from the Beam Distillery, I think that's like pretty crazy because they can really crank out a lot of product.
Right. I mean, they have like 25-story buildings that are...
It's such a cool place to go to. But like, yeah.
They're watering it all down to 80 proof, which is the
It's
most you can get.
A lot of product that they can pump out.
The most you can.
Yeah.
It's like the most you can pump out is 80 proof because you can't go any lower.
Right.
So it's like the absolute most you can get is 80 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
They were both pretty good.
Yeah.
This
one's super cool. Like, if I can, next time I'm at Lux, if I can find the medium or heavy toast, I really want to pick those up.
Please. And if you do, bring it into the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, let's move over to 3 and 4. We'll go back to 4, I think, right? Because we just had kind of 3. A lot of positive comments about 3.
4, I taste a little more ethanol.
Your nose a little bit more of it.
I get a lot more wood from 3 still. But like I said, I like an oaky whiskey. So like that is a good flavor profile for me. A lot of people don't necessarily like that oak smell or flavor. But I like that one a lot.
I'm really hesitant to put this tasting note out there about 4. But I've had wine where it's from France and you know that they're using their feet to squish the grapes and stuff. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a foot kind of note on this.
Gotcha.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm just getting...
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never smelled or tasted feet, so wouldn't be able to... But yeah, it's an interesting note, Todd.
Yeah, good for you.
Like I said, I'm hesitant.
Is it like a post-workout foot or like, I've been at the beach all day foot?
More of an athlete's foot.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, your hesitancy, did it come to fruition?
We'll see.
This is a runaway for me.
Yeah, and that's why I guess I'm saying something. I don't know. I love feet.
I love lamp.
Yeah, love lamp.
Scotch. Down in my belly.
Yep.
What?
You ever seen Anchorman?
Anchorman.
Oh, not a long time.
Oh, it's a good
Ron
movie.
Burgundy then?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Baxter. Where's Baxter? Mark twice for your Milwaukee.
Well, you mentioned that at Dan's place when I heard dogs barking in the distance. Well, who wants to start this out?
I mean, I can. I really like 3. I like the oak and the flavor profile, and I like the way the maturity of like the band that it goes through from when you first get it, and I think it's got a distinct heads, hearts, tails on the flavor profile, and I really enjoy that. I think it's interesting, and I don't know, I like it.
I'm so with you. I am also 3, not only because it doesn't taste like feet, but because
I thought he said he liked
I do.
His
I do
feet.
like feet.
But not athlete's feet.
Right.
Just regular feet.
beach feet.
Beach feet.
Yeah.
Little sandy.
Yeah.
Taste of sunscreen.
Yep.
But I love that you brought up the hearts, legs, the heads, hearts, and tails, because I agree. It's like you're tasting the wood, like the aged part of it, and then the toasted part of it as a separate entity. But it's like it's a nuanced thing. It's a complex thing. You're like tasting all levels of it as you're drinking it. It's so enjoyable. It's kind of easy. I mean, when we were tasting 2 and 3, it was kind of difficult, but we were tasting it against a really kind of pretty good quality product. Yeah. And I'm not saying 4 isn't, but yeah, 3 walks with me.
So I told you, before, I thought 3 was the best bourbon I've tasted today, hands down. I wouldn't say hands down, but it's my favorite today. So 3 for sure. I can't wait to see what 3 is, and I
Yeah.
hope I can go out and buy it right now.
Yeah.
That's how much I like
Let's
it.
hope we can find it.
Right.
So we're back, and
Char 5.
yeah, we'll talk about number 4. So number 4 was the Michter's, and it was that toasted barrel finish, and that's the one that you can't get anywhere. You almost have to kind of be there at the right date and time to be able to get it. And they had to hire people to squash the corn and the rye and the barley with their feet to be able to make it. So
Is that like an I Love Lucy
Yes.
episode?
They did the grapes,
with the
right?
grapes.
yeah,
Probably Lucy did that.
Yeah.
it is only an 86 proof, so it is also fairly light. It tasted a little heavier than that.
It's sour mash, though. You see
It is
that?
a sour mash. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And that just means, the grain they start with is already kind of used. They kind of it carries over and forward.
Yeah, but like as it changes it through its flavor profile, that sour mash does bring a lot, to the finished product.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sure that's the same product as their sour mash Michter's, but they then age it a little bit longer in a toasted barrel. It'd be neat to actually try that side by side with another Michter's sour mash.
Oh yeah, to see if you can
see if
the difference.
the toasted difference. Yeah.
All right, our winner.
Yeah.
So, Penelope toasted. Oh, Char 5 toast heavy.
That's a lot of oak.
100,
That is.
100 proof.
So that's a heavy char.
I'm not aware of the char. Do they do that on a scale of 1 to 10 or?
1 to 5.
I think it is 1 to 5.
Okay.
So the longer the char is 5,
Yeah.
so the higher number, and then it goes down to 1 if it's just a quick char. And we were tasting that. You said we tasted that
Smoky.
oak oak on there.
After full maturation, we finished straight bourbon whiskey in a new freshly toasted barrel. Aged 5 years.
So
Man.
good age statement on it too. Then,
This is good.
and you can find that anywhere.
You can.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
Yeah.
You find
Penelope runs a little bit higher in price, doesn't it?
it can. This is the only Penelope I've had. Like I've never even tried any other Penelopes before. So I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think I might I've heard really good reviews of all the different Penelopes. I'm gonna start going out and picking some of these up if they're anything like this.
Yeah, like I said, I think I had a Penelope marshmallow, and
Oh, that's right, you did say that.
so I think that was my first Penelope. This is my second, so this is really good. I'm a big fan. This is probably one of my favorite toasteds I've had. So I'd like to compare this to some of the other toasteds, but
Yeah, the Penelope I've had before is their Penelope 4 grain.
Okay.
And this is way more interesting.
Okay.
There's a lot more going on in that one. I was just looking it up. Usually, the commonly used char levels are 1 through 4.
okay.
Yeah.
And some distilleries says here, such as Buffalo Trace, are experimenting with like level 7s.
Oh shit.
So like that's got to just be charcoal.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean, that's got to be crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of places they filter their product with charcoal after they dump it, so you're kind of getting some of that in there as well. So I would agree. This is the best toasted option I've ever had, but I've only had 2 before.
Yeah.
So
Oh really? Well,
Yeah.
you've had the 1910.
that's true. I still don't think of that as toasted, but I guess it is. Yeah. 'Cause-
So I would love to have a taste off between the Penelope and the was that Davis?
Yeah.
Davis County with a heavier toast,
I would too.
Ooh,
because
yeah.
I really did like 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Very
think
much
that
so.
2 toasted a little bit more would be very comparable to Penelope.
I wonder if any of the other Lux Row products make another toasted version of them, because like if that's kind of like what they're pulling for their toasted, it might be some really cool stuff that way.
Yeah. That'd be
Awesome.
good to know. And I agree with you 100%.
Well, cheers to
Cheers
3.
to 3.
Cheers, guys.
Freaking great bourbon.
Found a fantastic toasted winner, and it is Penelope toasted. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in and checking out what we're tasting and picking for our season winner. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next episode.
Are you okay?
No, he's not. Billy! See him freaking shaking his shit at the door. He freaking brings Billy going strut.
I know.
And then he doesn't stop strutting.
Right?